So I've finally started to make friends as an adult, which has been an ongoing problem. And I keep getting people asking me, how'd you do that, Haley? Making friends as an adult is fucking hard. I agree. So before I tell you the secrets to building friendships as an adult, I'm gonna first give you some background on my problems. I feel like a lot of people can relate to my story with friendship. I went through high school having a very, very small group of friends. There were 3 of us, we were super, super close, and I was kind of acquaintances with a bunch of people, but really only felt secure and safe with the few friends I had. Post-graduation of high school, all of my friends moved. All of them. And then I was alone. I made some friends in university, but it was very much a commuter school, and so I would go there and then leave, which meant no long-lasting friendships. And so by the time I moved in with my first partner when I was 21, I didn't have any friends. Yeah! And so the inevitable happened. I just stole his friends and became friends with his friends. Keeping in mind, at this point, I had no idea I was autistic or had ADHD, and I craved drama because drama equals conflict resolution, which equals dopamine. She was toxic and she is me. And so that friend group blew up at me because I'm a very blunt person and I require people to be blunt with me or I won't understand their feelings. Apparently I had made some comments that were taken the wrong way and no one ever brought them up to me. And so they just festered and sat with all of these negative feelings about me for months and months and months, and then blew up at me and told my boyfriend at the time that he should break up with me. I would have apologized given the opportunity. I just didn't understand what I did wrong. And then I started using Bumble BFF. After making a couple of really close friends, those blew up as well. Similar instances where they were festering over something without telling me they had an issue about it, and then would just blow up at me one day. And I would sit there feeling like, well, if you'd brought it up in the first place, I would have said sorry. And I'm saying sorry now, but it was never good enough. Do you relate to that? And so really that's where the journey that ended up being successful began. And that's the journey I want to tell you about today. This is how to make friends as an adult.
So here's what we're going to go over about friendships. We are first going to talk about expectations. What can you expect when you're an adult looking for friendships? 2, we're going to talk about different resources, ways to make those friendships. And finally, how to apply it so that you keep them for a long time and don't burn out of friendships.
Now here's the thing. By the time that we're actually adults, the way that we interact with the world has shifted, whether that's a conscious change or not. I'm consciously aware that the way that I make money has shifted since I was a teenager to now, but I wasn't aware that the way I made friendships also needed to shift from when I was a teenager to now. That ended up for me having to be a conscious shift in expectations.
Maybe those expectations haven't shifted yet and you're seeing the problems with that. You're expecting to have one super close best friend or a friend group and you're continually being disappointed.
So now it's time for us to rework those expectations. But first, we need to understand what others can expect of us in a friendship. This is how somebody described friendships to me, and it really stuck. I want you to imagine yourself as a cup. Now imagine every time you have a social interaction, your cup is getting filled up bit by bit. Now, different people are different sized cups. Some people require a lot of social interaction, and so it takes a lot more for them to feel fulfilled with their friendships and social interactions. And other people take very little. Imagine this is a shot glass. I don't actually own shot glasses because I'm a good Christian girl. I just don't know. But some people require very little to feel filled up to the top. Now, the problem I was having is that I was this size cup, but I was surrounded by people this sized, which there's nothing wrong with, but I was expecting a shot-sized person to fill me up to the top. And what would happen is that maybe I got a little bit more social interaction from being around family or at work or whatever, and now here I am, ready to dump all of this back into my shot-sized friend. They're gonna overflow. And what this caused was a lot of breakage. And so what I realized for my own cup is I need different types of people to fill it up to the top. Maybe I hang out with my quiet friend that likes to go to the library and they fill me up. And then I go rock climbing twice a week with a different friend. They fill me up a little bit more. And now my very extroverted friend wants to go to the club Friday night, and that takes me
all the way to the top of being fulfilled. What this understanding did for me is understand what type of people I need in my life. You know, it wasn't realistic for me to expect one person to fulfill all of my needs in friendship. So now we know what kind of love we expect from others and what we're able to give to others. How do we make friends at all?
This is Michaela.
Hello.
We met off of Bumble.
Yes.
Why were you on Bumble?
I was trying to find friends. Like, it was kind of during COVID too, and there wasn't many good places to like go out and find friends. So I went on Friend Bumble, and then I met Haley, and we fell in love.
Essentially, I got tired of meeting people individually and it not working out, so I messaged 20 different girls on Bumble BFF, invited them all to a board game cafe. We met there, and Michaela and I were two that stayed friends.
Why do you think our friendships worked out and others didn't?
Honestly, just probably having consistent effort. I feel like we all make time, and like we were really intentional with like seeing each other and making plans with each other, and also just engaging in activities that we all really like doing yoga or painting. Amazing.
Now we know that Bumble BFF is a great resource. How do we use it to really build the most fulfilling friendships? I've been on Bumble BFF for 5 years now, and I've made some amazing friendships in that time, but none of them really lasted a super long time. I feel like the people I have in my life now are the ones that are gonna last, and they've felt the most fulfilling. So how do you use Bumble BFF effectively? Firstly, don't expect it to work the first time you use it. It requires consistency and determination. Think about how many people are using Bumble BFF. It's a lot. To whittle that group down to find someone that matches your ideals and the things that you're interested in is really important. Recognizing that one person will likely not fulfill all of your needs. Maybe you find someone on Bumble BFF that is really, really artsy, and so they're your artsy friend. But you can also find someone that's super adventurous and loves hiking and camping and doing all these fun things. They can be your hiking, adventuring, camping friend. It doesn't have to be one person. So you've met up with people on Bumble. How do you make it a long-lasting friendship versus a short spurt? I found that the best way to do this was making consistent time to meet with people. I was finding that a lot of my friendships were surface level, which wasn't horrendous, but I found it really hard to consistently meet with people. As Michaela was saying when we were talking, we found similar things we were interested in and committed times to doing it together every single week. It was very helpful so that the planning wasn't so hard, because I knew I was going to see them every single week, 2 or 3 times a week doing yoga, for example. And Michaela and I now do Sunday date days together because we're both single and working through that together. And having that consistent time has allowed us to build these friendships that aren't so surface level. So what you can take from this video, I hope, is that your expectations around adult friendships needs to shift as everything else in our lives have shifted becoming adults. 2, you can use resources like Bumble BFF, or as a little side piece of information, going to the same place every single week will give you more opportunities to build friendships. Joining a sport that you're at every single week, like rock climbing. I've made so many friends rock climbing because I'm just in the same place and I'm seeing the same people. The next thing we learned is that consistency is key in ensuring that you don't have to put a ton of planning into weekly visits with them. It should be something you can expect every single week that's nice and easy. I hope this has helped, and if you have more questions, comment below. And I will answer them over on my Instagram story. So join me over there and I will party with you. Also, I go to Italy next week, so there's gonna be some crazy content coming up and I cannot wait to show you. You don't have to subscribe. That was awful. Okay, bye.